questions at one time, and the Commissioner will come back to you.
Can I start?
I think this lady was the first, and then the two gentlemen.
Anna Israelian, Arabo Daily from Armenia. My question is about summit declaration that will be signed tomorrow. Maybe you can remember what was the final formulation about conflict, because if I'm not mistaken, there are different views about that in Armenia and Azerbaijan. Is there any compromise about that or no? Thank you.
Please, the next.
Interpress News, Georgia. As Commissioner mentioned, yes, Eastern Partnership brings countries with different aspirations, different goals. But I'm here talking about my country, Georgia, and if we assess all the reports, Georgia is much closer to the European Union by carrying out the association agenda, by approximating the legislation. And what is the future for Georgia? I mean, we in Georgia, we are not sufficient only with state of our relations with European Union. We want to go much deeper, and our aspirations and our goal, not only of the society, but also of the government, is to one day become a member and to join the European Union. So how would you assess the Georgian aspirations for the future, and is it possible for us to wait the approximation of our integration process with you? Thank you.
Thank you. And the gentleman here.
So this is the European problem. I have a question regarding the final declaration. We know that there were some problems, and even it was considered that the document could be not signed. So can we say for sure that the final version is agreed and the document would be certainly signed or published tomorrow after the summit? Thank you.
Back to your question.
Hello, I'm David. I'm from Georgia too. I'd like to ask you about wording of tomorrow's final declaration. What kind of words should we expect regarding Georgia, Ukraine, and Moldova? Should we expect supporting the aspiration, European perspective maybe, or what? Thank you.
Thank you. I think we let the Commissioner answer. No.
Well, apparently I was not successful with my introduction. But to say the truth, concerning the first, third and the fourth question, it's the character of such a summit that so to say, the declaration, the final declaration is negotiated till the very last moment. But I have some indications that we will not only find an agreement, but also that, and I'm very confident that tomorrow afternoon we will adopt a declaration which of course is not making everybody 100% happy, but this is also the nature of such a declaration, covering the interests of 34 countries. This is something one should not forget. It's not only about the 6 already divergent interests, but also 28 member states might have different views, and in that respect it's the particular skillness of diplomats and Sherpas to find a solution. So I'm confident that there will be a declaration and also covering the issues you have raised. But once again, this was why I have so much focused in my introduction. And this leads me to the question of the colleague from Georgia. I mean, and that's why I have, for instance, referred in that kind of the increase of export to Ukraine, but they could do the same with Georgia. When it comes to Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, those who are, so to say, with the clearest expressed aspiration to the Union, we have now delivered, so to say, what immediately is possible: visa liberalization, but in particular association agreement and this deep and comprehensive free trade agreement. But now, guys, it's important really to implement it. And look, it's not possible to have something where implementation, utilizing the potential, takes years in order really to reach cruising speed in terms of using all the possibilities, and already thinking what could be the next step. So it's really about focusing on the homework which should be done, because it's a process which helps these countries to move further and closer to the European Union. But it's too premature to speculate about next steps and time perspectives, etc., and possibilities. I mean, it's not a particular secret that also the European Union, after the financial and economic crisis, after, not sure if I can already say after the migration crisis, there is a need, and of course Brexit is also something which was, so to say, something unprecedented. There is, so to say, a desire, I can even say, to have now a sound internal consolidation. And this is also important for us to be more consolidated, to be in an even better position to meet all the challenges we are facing in a global competition. And if we are, as European Union, more consolidated, more effective, this has an immediate impact also to our neighborhood. And therefore don't underestimate, so to say, all these elements. So I think now we should really focus on these very concrete deliverables. This is not, so to say, trying to distract from something, quite the opposite, to focus on what is needed. I am not saying as a precondition. Everything what we are doing is to support our neighborhood, to assist, but we are doing this also for very egoistic reasons, because if there is peace, stability, prosperity in our neighborhood, once again this also gives us more so to say safety and political stability. And finally, I mean, all your countries are emerging markets. Also from a European perspective, your countries are very attractive because there is a lot of still untapped potential, and therefore there are many good reasons to have a very close and strong cooperation. And finally, and for instance, this is a discussion I had several times with Prime Ministers from Georgia, but also from other countries, but in particular from Georgia. It's about expectation management. Because if you say we will become members of the European Union, this is immediately not realistic. But people, once hearing that, believe this can happen in 2-3 years. And then a government is under pressure, and this is also not our intention to put a successful working government under pressure. So also this is part of political art and skillness, to manage expectations and to deliver on something which is possible, which is concrete, which is visible, which is tangible, and which is showing results for the citizens. And if this is the case, there is even more confidence to a government that they might be able to go the next steps.
Thank you. So we are taking the next 3